So that passionate about these kids moving over here.
Yeah, I mean, this is our children, our grandchildren, etc. I mean, what is more valuable?
Now, Ron, I also want to talk about who these guys in black over here as well.
These guys are the Arizona State Militia, and they are acting as security for the dignitaries that are coming in. And this we're in the way here.
How long do you expect to stay out here?
In the end, the buses never showed up, but news of the migrants coming brought out people on both sides of the issue, like immigration hawk Russell Pierce, the former state Senate president.
I suggest you respect the laws of the nation and quit encouraging these kids to take that trick.
Other politicos included Republican gubernatorial candidate Frank Riggs, who had a group of armed militia members providing his security.
But the idea that these minors would be placed in Arizona, where they effectively would presumably have to be quarantined for public health reasons, I think is a huge challenge.
Unfortunately, there were political individuals who changed the scheduling of the buses, and to further embarrassment of the protesters, canceled the buses for yesterday. So it was very unfortunate that all that effort was for naught because of political reasons.
Can you tell us a little bit about the group that you are leading there and kind of what you guys are about?
Yeah, we're a statewide constitutional militia, strictly run by the Constitution of the United States and by the state of Arizona. It isn't a protest group. It isn't any social group whatsoever. We stay away from all of the social issues as much as possible. We don't take sides. We don't take, sides as far as political parties, any of that stuff. Most of what we do is strictly to protect the communities, to enhance the communities, and to enhance the people's rights in the state and protect the state's sovereignty. It's very critical for us to follow that. If we were not to do so, we would become just another organization like a lot of others have become, one that gets involved with things that really have nothing to do with their primary objective. So we maintain our focus on what the Constitution is all about, and that's very critical for us and for our success.
Well, that sounds great. There's definitely been a big resurgence in interest in militias, especially, with the Bundy Ranch flashpoint that happened. Can you give some information to our listeners if someone is interested in finding, a well-organized militia that has their stuff together? Isn't you also seem to run into, unfortunately, kind of these people that don't have very much leadership, real-life leadership experience, trying to put together some of these militia groups and whatnot. If someone's looking to, seriously find a good group to become part of and get to know more about, how would you suggest they go about doing that in their own areas?
Well, I would, the first thing I would look for is longevity, for one, and what the message is from that organization. It defines a lot of them when they get involved with things that they really shouldn't get involved with. And it becomes a mindset. The individuals that run this organization have a mindset that we are a strict constitutional militia. When you allow personal opinions or personal things to get in the way of the bigger picture, it creates havoc for any organization. And what we don't allow in our organization is power struggles. We all understand what our role is. It isn't about any one of us. It's about the organization as a whole, and it's about the community and the state. One of the things that you have to keep in perspective is exactly that. When people are looking for an organization like ours in other parts of the country, that's what they need to find out. They need to put in some investigative work into what the group that they're looking at is involved with. If they're involved with positive community things to help those communities, and they're staying out of those social issues, and they're not portraying themselves as an anti-government organization, one that is simply there to exert their belief in the Constitution and the state's rights. That's somebody you want to take a serious look at. And then go have a conversation with some of their people. Have a discussion with their leaders, even some of the members that are, part of the day-to-day operations, and get an understanding of what their mindset is and find out if that's what you're looking for. Right. Not everybody's going to be, not everybody's going to fit into this organization or any one of them, but they have to understand that if they have a common thought process and a common thread amongst them, at least that's a good start.
I immediately gravitated towards the Oath Keepers, the official organization of Oath Keepers, because of their because of the members being ex-military and former police officers, and just having that mindset of discipline and less being radical. Now, listen, I get people are pissed off, so I'm not saying voicing your opinion and distaste for the government is bad. Don't get me wrong. That's our right, and I do it myself. However, like the Colonel was explaining, if you're going to be part of a group, you better be careful who you involve yourself with. Everybody knows of the national issue where this coward and his wife showed up to Bundy Ranch, tried to associate himself with the groups, and what had happened is he was asked to leave because we sensed that he was not all there, and some of his rhetoric was too extreme. Well, it turned out he ended up going to here in Las Vegas, went and assassinated 2 police officers and an innocent civilian who was a concealed carry person trying to defend civilians in there. So he had radical views, but like the Colonel said, it was definitely to the credit of these organized groups, whether they be a militia. Now, the only militia I interacted with was the Arizona State Militia, representatives of the Arizona State Militia who showed up. I couldn't find a militia in my state. There are people who claim that there's a Nevada State Militia. I've yet to see one, and I've yet to see the Chupacabra and Bigfoot. So there is no Nevada State Militia. So I said, what are we going to do here? Because I looked around to the people to my left and to my right of the hundreds of patriots that showed up and said, I assumed, because I've seen social media, and with anybody can be on social media. Anybody can claim they're anybody on social media. There's catfish, there's trolls. And so when I showed up to Bundy Ranch, I expected to meet this real militia of Nevada. And we were left with staring at the organized Arizona State Militia. I had some words with a few of the members and wanted to know more about that organization because of their order, their discipline, and their demeanor, whereas everybody else was these ragtag self-proclaimed militias. Now, listen, not bashing them. It's just that they need leadership and organization, and it's very, very difficult to find good groups that have that.